Certainly in the French press, that is all they're talking about. I'm going to take you through a few of the papers, starting with the local press. So down in Nice, Nice Matin, a local paper there, starts with the headline on the front page, Carnage at Nice. That's carnage in Nice. The photo there, of course, of the bodies in the street that we've already been seeing all morning. And just to show you how quickly this situation is evolving, the figures that they state just underneath there in terms of the death toll, for example, are already out of date. So they say 75. We now know it's 84. I'm going to go over to another local paper, La Provence, which uses the word horror, l'horreur, attentat à Nice, attack on Nice. France struck again is what it goes with, and the photo there of the carnage that we saw before. And that word horror is being used not only in the local papers, but also in the national press. If I take you to Le Parisien, a tabloid paper in France here, it has L'horreur à Nice as its headline, and of course reminding people that it was the 14th of July. So you've got 14 Juillet written up there at the top. It was Bastille Day. This was the national day of celebration when this horror unravelled. And again, this is a word we're seeing appearing all over the press. In Le Figaro, the right-leaning national paper, l'horreur à nouveau. So the horror once again is what they lead with. And again, photos there where you can see the truck with the windscreen with those bullet marks in it, lots of bullet marks in it from where the police had tried to stop the truck before it eventually came to a halt. And I'm also going to take you to some of the papers outside of France as well, so some of the foreign press, starting with the German paper Bild. Now again, very out of date already, as we can see. They say there, attack in Nice, at least 60 dead. Now we know already that it's a lot more than that, but they gave up the front page of their newspaper to cover this story in neighbouring France. And across the channel in the UK, the papers, interestingly, that we weren't getting the front pages for quite a long time, and suddenly they all came at once because they'd redone their front pages. They had changed them entirely in order to reflect what had happened in France. Not all the papers, but certainly some of them. So the Daily Mirror, outrage in France, we can see 75, again, an outdated death toll already, killed by terrorist. And the list goes on. There are some from the Times, which also
the Times actually reprinted their front page. They were leading with one thing, and now they issued a very late second edition to cover it.
You're absolutely right. They did that. Some of the papers, the tabloids seem to have led on it quite heavily. The Sun also, it's not the front page of the Sun, but it's not the first story, but it is one of those first stories of the Sun. And there are also eyewitness accounts coming out, certainly in the French press, since this morning. We can't verify all of the ones that we're seeing on Twitter and on Facebook, obviously, but this one has made it into Libération, a national newspaper here. It's from a local journalist who says, this truck of death drove by just a few metres from me. And the journalist, I'll translate for you what the journalist says. He or she writes very poetically and says, I saw bodies flying like bowling pins in the wake of the truck. I heard screams I'll never forget. I was paralysed with shock. Around me, people were crying, running, so I shook myself and ran with them.
So the internet being used to describe these attacks, of course, the many hundreds of witness statements we're seeing, but also being used to help keep people safe.
Absolutely. And the Nice Town Hall came out very quickly with a tweet on its official page saying, stay at home. You can use the hashtag Porte Ouverte Nice, which translates as open doors Nice, to find refuge. And do think of telling your friends that you are safe by checking in on the Facebook safety app. Now, of course, Porte Ouverte was the same hashtag that we saw in Paris during those attacks in November. Now, that attack was much more sustained. So what was interesting here is that we found that the Porte Ouverte hashtag quite quickly morphed into a more general hashtag on the attacks, from people giving their tributes or their condolences, and also for people trying to find loved ones who they had lost in the melee as people were fleeing from the attack. That trending also with the hashtag Nice 06, so Nice 06. If you see the 06 and you're confused, for our international viewers, that's because each department in France has a number, and Nice is number 6, so that's why you're seeing Nice 06. There's another hashtag also being used, Recherche Recherche Nice, which is really the official one to trying to find your people who might be missing in the attack. New names coming in every minute of people who are trying, others who are trying to find. So
and descriptions.
Exactly, descriptions here.
Terribly
You can
sad.
see, yes, Nina, who's being searched for. She's 1 metre 65, or she's in between 1 metre 65 and 170. She's got a tattoo on the back of her neck, and people really asking for
There's hundreds of those
Absolutely.
messages.
Yeah, and they're coming. We're refreshing the page, and they're coming in all the time. And it's not just in France that people are looking for their loved ones. This has also made the Daily Mirror in the UK, because of course Nice is a holiday destination. There are people from around the world having their summer holidays there. So this is a story that's touching people across the world. I'll give you one good news story on this search for people who have been lost. This one from. It made it into the local paper. It's a little girl who was missing. She's 8 years old, and the parents put a message on Facebook saying, "Please help us find our little girl." There it is. 8 months. She's of Laos and Madagascar descent. She's in a blue buggy. Please help us, and they give the number. Now, in an amazing stroke of luck, she was found and returned to them, which is absolutely fantastic. So they've got their child back, their 8-month-old baby. So one happy story coming out from that. The other thing to note is that pretty quickly some of the official networks stepped in. So the Central Hospital in Nice came in very quickly on Twitter saying the White Plan has been put in action. Here's the number to call for families. Now, the White Plan, just to explain, has actually been law since 2004, but it was really used in the Paris attacks a lot. It allows authorities and security services and medical services to do away with normal regulations so that they can get as many people on the scene as possible, as quickly as possible. So bringing extra hospital beds, getting people out of holiday time, all the rest of it. And in this case, actually in Nice, we were seeing a hotel lobby being used as a makeshift hospital.
Yes, impromptu field hospitals being set up. Of course, lots of numbers for viewers to call if they are worried about their loved ones. We will be showing you the emergency number to call here in France as well. Not just being used, the internet being used as a means to convey information. Also, people taking to Twitter to express solidarity, Belle, haven't they?
Yes, and the Paris mayor has done that. So obviously Anne Hidalgo remembers what it was like when her own city came under attack. And she's now said, "We are no longer people from Paris, from Nice, from the Basque Country, Corsa, Guyana. We're French people who must unite now more than ever." On her Twitter account, she's saying that. I'll just show you as well this cartoon here, just drawing on that idea of the whole of France united. You've got France there with Nice down in the bottom southeast corner, and you can just see the little tip there dripping in blood, and the dove of peace crying in the middle of France.
Thanks very much for that, Belle Lupton, taking us through the papers and the social media reaction to that attack, which has killed at least 84 people in the south of France. This after a 31-year-old suspect of Franco-Tunisian descent drove a truck into the seafronts, crowded with families watching the National Day fireworks on the Nice seafront. Stay with us. Your continuing coverage is coming up with Melissa Bell. She'll be here at 8 a.m. Paris time. Don't go away.